Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Fireball Friday. Today, we have a show match for the ages as we see our Protoss Hero stats taking on the King of Terran, TY. I hope you guys are as excited for this one as I am because these are two amazing players, and I think you can all agree that this is going to not be a slugfest. This is going to be something even more. It's going to be I was about to say it's going to be a snail fest, but that doesn't actually sound like it's going to be better than a slugfest. But first of all, guys, I gotta say thank you all for tuning in already. We are just getting started here, just waiting for one of the players to show up, essentially, because Ty is not here just yet. You know, he might have overslept a little bit. He's a little, it's a little bit late in Korea, but I see him hopping in to the party right now. So if you guys are not aware, this is a best of 9 show match. The format is essentially into the new. Our Korean caster will be casting or will be selecting the first map of the series, and then it will be loser's pick for the next 8 maps. After the 7 maps have been used from the current map pool, then the map pool will reset, and then we will see some epic more games on the same maps. So there's no fancy maps for games 8 and 9 if we get that far, but I know you guys are thinking, yes, I hope it goes to game number 9 because these guys are definitely worth watching to the full end. But yeah, as you guys can tell, we kind of have a little bit of a sponsor today. Today is sponsored by Fireball Whiskey. Now, Fireball Whiskey, if you guys don't know, is a premier whiskey from here in North America, made directly from, I believe, Canada, Kentucky here in the States. And it's a great way to get a party on and also hanging out and check. And even if you're not a big drinker, it's just a really nice, refreshing flavor that you can always use to have a good time. So this is going out to all you StarCraft nerds out here. Please drink responsibly, and cheers. Still gets me. But tastes like heaven, but they are right. It does burn like hell. But we are no, actually, it looks like we are going to be getting some vetoes in right here. And yes, we are sponsored by Fireball, the best sponsor that you can get for the over 21 or 18 if you're out of America. Just trying to kind of follow what's going on here now. Just enter my little translate app. Looks like we're going to be going into Nightshade for our game number 1. Just waiting on the players to agree on the order, it appears. But I hope you guys are having an amazing day yourselves. Obviously, it's a little bit early here in North America. It's 9 a.m. But in Korea, it's the exact opposite. It's about 9 p.m. So these guys have been working hard all day, and they have been preparing for this one because this one is I don't want to say slugfest again. I want to say that this is going to be an I'm forgetting words. 12 a.m. in Australia. Maddie, you madman. You are a true fan of StarCraft 2 to be up that late. And yeah, I hope this one is up to your standards, and I hope you all are going to enjoy this one. Let me just get a pin out for the map order. See, we got the Korean caster. He's taking care of all the fun stuff right now because he can actually understand what's going on. All right. Maps have been chosen and the lobby is getting set up. We are going to be going into game number 1 on Pillars of Gold, actually. So, you know, this, I mean, Pillars of Gold is a pretty good map overall. Just talking about these kind of expansions, you have the 2 different options once you get past your natural base. One's a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more forward, closer to your opponent, which can be pretty difficult to handle if you have an aggressive opponent. Like TY is very aggressive. Stats has been known to throw out that aggression when he's ready. And honestly, I think it's going to play a lot into a 3-base game more than likely, as both of these guys, while they can be aggressive, they are also very macro-oriented players. They look to overwhelm you rather than trying to slowly pick you apart. 12 a.m. will be you watching GSL. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait for that. You know, that is going to be a bunch of epic games as well. And you know what? We got some more, even more amazing StarCraft coming on Saturday and Sunday. We've got the King of Battles just down there. We're down to the quarter and semifinals, and that is just going to be great because we got Cyril, we have Cure, we've got Clem, just rising stars and stars that are already up there, and that is just going to be really fun to watch. I didn't catch too much of it yesterday, but I did see Cure and Raynor duke it out, and if that is anything to go on, then I know that those games are going to be amazing. But you know what? We are not talking about those games right now because we have 2 legends in their own right. So without further ado, spawning up here in the top position, he is Stats. And his opponent in the bottom right, he is TY. Also known as Thank You, but you know. I think the only thing he's going to be thanking you for is a nice, hearty aggression. Wrong overlay. Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. Okay, we'll take care of that. When it rains, it pours. Hang on, guys. Let me get that sound up for you. There we go. That should make it a little bit better for you. Apologies for that, guys. There is, if there's not a technical issue with me, then then it's not a passer cast, I think. I mean, I've been doing this for what, 5, 6 years, and I still can't get that right sometimes. But you know what? What we can get right is that we have some very strange little choices here, as TY did wall off immediately and is being very cautious with what he's allowing Stats to see. Stats not even able to get there into the main base, as we have these two Marines taking out the scouting probe. Now, we did see that Stats is going to be going for the Twilight Council, so he's going to be having, like, he's really going to have to utilize that pretty quickly. As with what TY is going for, you really can just get into your opponent's base with those Widow Mines, with that starport, and get a lot of damage done. And actually, this is interesting. It looks like he's going to be dropping a Hellion along with that Widow Mine. Now, that's interesting because that's something that you would think will do a lot more damage than normal, because what will happen is that the Widow Mine will drop, Stats will pull his workers away, and then as they're lining up for the retreat, then you will be able to just take them out. And okay, so it's actually just going to be a 1 Widow Mine Marine drop. A lot of interesting strategies here. They do have a black outline. I think he's using a skin pack that's a little bit more retro. I think that's from the most recent war chest. But anyway, we do see Stats. He does have knowledge that this is coming in, and he will be able to start working on that medevac, but not before it starts to drop. And there we go. This is what I was expecting now. The Hellions coming in and absolutely roasting the probe line. Widowmine actually picks off a Stalker as well. And the Marines going to be able to take out one more maybe. But no, right now they're just going to focus down that probe line, getting 12 kills to start things off. So an excellent start there for TY, shutting down a lot of that worker count. If you take a look at the supply, he is still ahead in that regard. And behind this, he's actually going to be going for a Raven. Now, Stats now has this small window where he can start to kind of push out and have a little bit of map presence, although he's not really going to be able to kill TY here. He's still going to be able to poke away while that bunker is not complete. Oh, look at that medevac. Already pretty low, so he's going to have to be careful with that, but there's absolutely nothing in the main base for Stats right now. Stats. Okay, not the worst it could have been. But still, you do never want to lose that, but oh no. Gonna get right on top there. That was a bit of a mistake. These Stalkers are now almost forfeit as he loses 3 of them right away. And the 4th may get taken down on the retreat. It does not. But still, Stats fumbling a little bit in this game, I feel. He did get that early blink, but he just never had the supply to really utilize it effectively. TY just all over him at every step of the way. Jack Ripper, if you're in the chat, please go take care of your phone. Thank you. And you know, now Stats is kind of stuck in this position where he wants to stay out on the map. He wants to kind of keep TY back while he gets his 3rd base up. But TY is just not going to have that at all. He's just going to go straight for what could be a killing blow here, as the Colossus are not out just yet. Now, this is going to be good for Stats if he can pick off one of those siege tanks. But really just not able to get the connections that he needs with those Blink Stalkers. Just slowly on the retreat. Forcing himself, he's trying to force the siege up to buy himself more time, but overall it's just not working for him. Although he does get the Raven, which is nice. Scan gonna go down, revealing the Colossus in play, but TY is just going to do a tremendous split, take out a few more units, and then back away to the ramp, a more solid defensible position. Reinforcements coming in for TY as well. The splits are still pretty good, and look at that, he's getting right on top of the Colossus. Is there enough to clean them up, however? It does not look like it just yet. A little bit of fancy micro coming in, though. That Marauder is eternal. But TY does get cleaned up there, so not that bad for stats. The problem really being he just can't push the advantage anymore. TY has his third base up and running. So essentially, you know, he's just not able to get in there. Looks like he's gonna try, however. Still, 3 Colossus can be a force for change. Now Stats is this is gonna really be the first time he can push back here, but there's just way too much for TY to really push in there. The big thing about Terran is once they get up to this 3 base, it's essentially a big war machine. This is when their macro can really just start to ramp up higher and higher, and it becomes just so difficult to push into it. As we can see, he's already up to 5 racks, which does mean that he's has enough minerals, has enough gas to deal with anything, and he also is just starting to add on those additional tech buildings, which will get him the siege tanks, the Vikings, and even Ghosts, because he does know at around this time is when we're going to start seeing the transition into the Templar archives. Now, Stats. For his credit, he is going straight for the Disruptors, which is a really nice decision. Because essentially, right now, what TY is doing is he's still pumping out the Vikings, as you can see, and with that, he's trying to make sure that he can take out the Colossus. But now with the Disruptors, those Vikings are going to have a lot less utility until you can land them. Well, thank you so much, Isaac Newton. I like you too. Now a little bit of a lull here as TY gonna be moving out once again, although the backstab is gonna help out immensely here as TY actually pulls back his entire army to deal with this. So far, not that much damage done, just a little bit of lost mining time. 1 worker going down for that whole time, but the Disruptor hits, getting a little bit of work done, but they're pretty much just there to slow TY's advance down. TY currently up 20 supply, and will that be enough for this push? We will have to see. He actually does not have the EMP upgrade as well, so these Ghosts are going to have to be a little bit more careful with that. With the Colossus coming around, going to pick off the reinforcements. Stats starting to get taken down. The Colossus are falling. 1 good MP going to shut down the Archons for the most part. But TY trying to go up the ramp gets punished for it as his 4th base is actually going to get lifted off for right now. And once again, TY is going to have to come home to defend this. Not really the situation you want to be in as TY right now, as Stats is on the warpath, essentially. Just to act natural, siege tanks, you'll be fine. good blink forward is going to take out most of the Liberators. A few good AMPs as well going to help out. 8 more workers going down in the fray. The splits pretty good, but Stats still managing to get those decent connections. Now keep in mind that Stats does not actually have Storm with any of this right now, and he doesn't really need it. Right now he's kind of just focusing on this overwhelming power against his opponent. He doesn't really feel the need for it right now with the amount of ghosts out on the field. Now TY, he knows he has to get something done, so he's going to go the full Terran route and drop right there in the main base, see what he can get. But that is a lot of forces that are not going to be here in his third base to deal with this. Vikings do finally get the land, however, and this is where they get crazy. I would say that, but they did all get taken out, and we're in a bit of a small base race situation, but Stats is going to take it. So an excellent first game. So now you guys know what you are in for with this series. As we're going to be heading into the second game here pretty quickly, but that was an amazing turnaround there. The problem was TY, he did have that aggression. He did have a lot of good stuff going for him, but he just was not, he made one small mistake. He didn't kill him. Thank you, Command War 4, for the raid as well. Welcome, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. But I am going to do that little bit of technical stuff while we're waiting for the next lobby. Yeah, just a really good start to the day. I mean, this is kind of the thing. Stats, he's just so hard to kill. You know, I just worry. I just worry for TY if he doesn't kind of get that early aggression, a little bit more damage. Stats did win game number 1. Okay, good to go. But yeah, next map is going to be Oxide. So we'll see if TY can turn this around, because up here in the top position, representing Africa Freaks, he is Stats. And his opponent down here in the bottom, representing Into the Clan, he is TY. Thank you. Thank you. You're seeing double. Oh, that is interesting. There we go. I mean, that would work essentially, because it is alcohol. It is an alcohol stream with Fireball whiskey. Seeing double is kind of normal for that, but there we go. That should fix it up. But anyway, we'll have to see what's going on here, because Stats, he did expect some sort of cheesy shenanigans here, as he did scout around his own base. TY not going to indulge him in that situation. Just going for a pretty standard build here, even getting the Reaper to scout. I honestly don't think we are going to see TY be too aggressive in this game. I think we might see him go back into that kind of macro-oriented style because remember, he is a player who really loves his positioning. He usually can get those fights. He doesn't just force the fights that he wants, he makes them happen. And that's the thing, like he's been looking phenomenal for years now. Just small slumps here and there, but overall, he is still one of the highest paid SC2 players for a while. I believe, if I recall correctly, he once won $300,000 in 1 year, but those numbers might be a little bit exaggerated. But as we see this game starting to ramp up, we got the Stargate on the way, which is a pretty good option because with the distance of this map, it just really allows you to move forward much more efficiently and get that early damage done without risking too much. Honestly, I don't think he's going to commit too heavily to any Stargate units. Maybe just get the Oracle, a couple of Phoenix to fly around, and past that, move back into Twilight Council Robo Facility, which is the standard follow-up. But here we do see these Adepts hitting a nice timing trying to get that damage. Unfortunately, though, the Hellion is in position. The Reaper not going to get taken out. The Hellion does need to retreat, however, so if TY was going to try and use those, he is going to be sorely disappointed there. Now, stats actually going to go straight for Phoenix here. No Oracle in sight. So he might be playing it out a little bit more defensively in terms of just hoping to catch those kind of medevac drops. Because it does look like TY was setting up for the kind of the same build as last time. But now he's a bit delayed in that regard. Reaper finally gonna go down there as well, so any information will have to come from scans or otherwise. But now he does get good confirmation that there are Phoenix in the play, so he does not want to go for any kind of drop style. Going up for that fast third base as well is going to really help him ramp up that production nice and quick. Yeah, this was kind of what I was expecting, going up to the Robo Facility and Robo Bay as well. So he's not committing too hard to the Phoenix. They're kind of just to fly around and get a couple pickoffs like they just did. You really want to be careful not to lose them, because if TY was going for some sort of siege tank push, those Phoenix are really good for picking up the siege tanks and just kind of body slamming them into the ground. So behind the stats, going for those Colossus, I think that's really kind of the normal follow-up here. I would be kind of excited to see Disruptors this early on, just because Disruptors are really fun to watch. Like, I play Terran, but even watching a good Disruptor hit is worth its weight in gold, as long as you're not playing against it. Trying to get a pick off on that Raven, not going to happen though. TY smartly moving back. I gotta say, Stats is being very ballsy with his Phoenix there. Has to be careful, don't want to lose him. But a scan did go down, revealing the fact that there is a Colossus coming out, as he saw the extended thermal lance coming out as well. But now both sides do have their third bases up and running. Do you think bunkers should be able to heal units? I don't think it would be the best yeah, I don't think it would be the best option. It would just give a little bit too much credence to bunker rushes, which can be very difficult to deal with. And also, it's kind of just one of those really niche things that really wouldn't be utilized that much because, I mean, you don't really see bunkers past the 5-minute mark for Terran players. There is a thing in the campaign where if you put a medic unit inside a bunker, though, they do heal the units inside, but again, with no medics in play and the medevacs being the only thing in the game, it's just not really going to be used that much. Now TY forcing stats into a pretty good choke point where his siege tanks could get some fire, but the Phoenix coming in to pick them up. Yeah, stats having to go on the retreat for this fight. And gonna get harassed the entire way. The Colossus going down, so TY is on the warpath right now. But I think the best thing he can do is kind of try and pick off that Colossus, which is saved by the Prism Jungle. And already TY is shaping up to have a pretty good push here, but he does not want to move into the army. As you can tell, he's kind of just trying to rotate between these locations. The problem is it's a very long rotation. You can't just jump between bases on this map. You really need to take out the rocks to open up these new positions. But I'm really liking this so far. Just going to send a few units forward, try and get it, but the shield battery has been supercharged. And TY is just going to pick up and actually just move towards the main base. His Vikings have started already. Trying to get that War Prism. But unfortunately taking a really big hit there. That is devastating for him. And the other side of the map, we do see a pretty big base trade here at the third base. 25 workers going down. Scan going down to going to reveal the fourth base as well. That is not a good scan to have. And there you have it. Stats is unstoppable right now. Just excellent decision making. He's not pulling the trigger until he knows that TY is not going to be in position. And just overall, an amazing playstyle from him. TY, he hasn't been looking bad, though, is the thing. He's been getting those amazing fights that he's known for. He's forcing positional play out of stats, and he's also moving in where he needs to go. Unfortunately, it's just these little 1 or 2 positions, like that disruptor hit in the main base, like taking one bad fight where he's getting taken down. Oh, he's a little bit ill today. Oh, that does make a little bit of sense. I really hope he feels better. I really hope he feels better then. He's still playing amazing for how he's feeling. It definitely is not fun. But we did get confirmation. that it is going to be Death Aura for our next one. And both players said go, go. We are just waiting for Into the New. Who is better? I think that's really subjective. I want to say Maru just because he has more GSL finishes, and he obviously had those years where he just absolutely decimated. But I think overall, TY has a bit of a better, record overall. His slumps are a little bit lower, as Maru sometimes gets into those a little bit of a longer slump, I think. But you know what? Oh. You know what? Hop right back into it up here in the top. He is up 2-0 and looking to keep things rolling in his favor. It is Stats. His opponent down here in the bottom, he's going to make it happen. He is TY. I think one thing about TY as well is he has a lot more foreign practice partners to help him out. He's a good friend of Special. If you've ever seen those two interact in person, you can know that they are sharing strategies. I actually have a funny story where back in 2017, at BlizzCon, both of those guys were backstage, TY and Special, and they were actually talking before the round of 4. And they both came up with a thing they wanted to do where they wanted to have TY come out in like the boxing thing, where you have the robe, you come down, you're throwing a couple of punches, just kind of little fun things there. And the only reason they didn't do it was because we sent a guy out to look for that kind of stuff, and they couldn't find one at the Halloween store. But, I mean, that kind of just tells you, with TY, he's got, you can kind of see a little bit of Special's playstyle in TY as well, honestly. It's really hard to explain in that regard, but, like, I just see little hints of Dorito in there. But, yeah, I mean, going back to this game, we do see pretty standard builds here. Looks like Stats is going to play this one a little bit more defensive again. He's going for that Twilight Council, and he's also getting the shield battery, just to kind of prevent the kind of drop style that TY's been going for in the past couple of games. Adept going to come in here. Actually, might get a deny on the Command Center for a little bit. This is just really annoying for TY to deal with, especially now that the Adepts are in the main base and there's not really much to slow them down. A good focus fire there, going to get a couple of workers to start things off. Going to damage a few more, but he's actually just going to get out of there. The CC did finish, so that is a saving grace for TY right now, but you know, it's just these small things that can really start to ramp up. And we already see Stats thinking 3 steps ahead. He's already prepared for what's coming next here. Blink coming out as well. We've got the Robo facility, so I think he's looking to ramp up his aggression pretty soon here, as we'll see the additional gateways as well. TY really needs to recognize this soon and get into a more defensive position. Oh, believe me, Maddie, I miss those days too. It was actually, like, it wasn't actually as overpowered as people think. It did feel a little bit hectic at times, but I think it really just added a new dimension to the game. I really wish they kept that in. So Stats wants to hit a window with these guys. Why is this replay on 2x speed? This is actually live. Yeah, here we go. Stats is going to be flying in here with the blink. There is a siege tank in position, though, so he's got to be careful. Already taking a few unnecessary shots, but is going to get into a decent position to blink on out of there without losing those stalkers. That's going to be important. Yes, when you unloaded the tank, it was still sieged. It did take a little bit of time to fire, but yeah, it took like a couple seconds to fire, but it was still really difficult for people to deal with. Banshee's going to be coming into this undefended base. Once again, going to jump in there and get a pickoff on the third. But now, the probe count is actually starting to dwindle here. He's got to make, as you can see, he's got to line up his shots or the shield battery will defend them. And 13 workers going down, so TY finally getting that damage he was really looking for. Unfortunately, taking a look at that worker supply, Stats is still ahead. Chrono Boost can be a very powerful trigger for the economy of a Protoss player. Now the question is here, is TY going to try and move out with this small force? I feel like there's a small window where you could try and get a little bit of damage done, but does look like he's actually just going to try and secure this third base location, still playing very defensive. I don't disagree with that, to be completely honest. I think that might work out a little bit better for him, as we've kind of seen his aggression falter in the last game, and that's really been what kills him, is not being able to ramp up behind his aggression. Now we already see the Templar Archives is finished. He's going to add on a couple of Archons. We'll have to see if he adds on Storm. I do want to kind of keep an eye on that because, you know, it's kind of weird to not see Storm in this. He kind of just feels like he can power through without it. Banshee's still flying around as well. Beautiful feedback's going to just absolutely decimate that. And here we go, the first real move out of TY. Not going to be, like, this isn't super committed here from TY. He knows he's not really going to be able to finish the game out with what he has. But here we go. Stats is actually really out of position right now, so he is going to force a recall back at home. TY is actually out of position as well for the warp in. So the Raven may go down here. So overall, Stats got a little bit better of that harassment. TY took a lot of damage there. Volume is too low. Let me see if I can fix that for you. There you are. But yeah, now we see these guys are relatively even in terms of that army supply. Taking a look at that income graph, it's starting to go into TY's favor. You can kind of see those instances where the mules come into play. But, I mean, overall, we've kind of equalized here. I don't think either side is really going to be moving out very soon. We see the addition of the DT Shrine. It's not a win behind Dark Shrine. It is a win ahead, go ahead kind of deal. As we see the addition of the Disruptors as well. So TY's going to have to be really ahead on his splits. A little bit of positioning here from stats. Look at the supply. He's almost completely maxed out. TY still at only 178. And yeah, here we go. A big engagement going to be coming down. The Colossus looking to get picked off there, but a good spread on his units here is going to force TY to commit to 2 separate locations. And already a lot of damage being done here. 7 workers going down for not that much lost here from stats. Only a couple of zealots. And he actually gets out of there. It sets up his 4th base, 5th base as well. This is just out of, you know, TY. He's a player that can run you ragged when he's at 100% anytime at all. But stats is just absolutely wrecking him right now when he's not at 100%. This is 2018 stats. Look at that, just getting all of the upgrades. Just anything he can get at this point. He's got money for days here. TY still not really moving out as well. He's just playing it way too defensively, I feel like, in this game. The big thing is stats has not really been touched in the past couple of minutes. That's really just allowing him to move around, rotate, get these positions, and just back out without losing too much. Even if he's only getting small amounts of damage done with each time, he's not really taking any damage on his army either. Saddleside coming in, he's going to get right on top of these siege tanks. One does go down, but the rest of the DT's falling. But this is the big story right now. These Disruptors getting some good connections. Although it's not a good idea to stand in Liberator fire. TY knows the situation is dire, so he's just going to begin a base trade on the other side of the map. Vikings need to land to help clean this up, but the 3rd base is already forfeit here for TY. No recall just yet. It is available, however, so how much damage the stats want to do here? The 4th base going down as well, so TY down to 2 bases, both of them just barely mining, but still the Nexus all going down here, so there will be no recall into the main base. All of this tech is gone for stats. An excellent move here from TY, recognizing the situation almost perfectly. And now both sides being completely supply blocked here. The recall is going to go down to the third base, but it's still going to have to move all the way around. I hope there's a scan available for those Shadow Stride. And now TY actually going to get on out of there. He still has his main base, which he's going to head down to the third. Oh, look at that. He can actually scan as well. Oh, wow. Jesus. So much going on. I think, but I definitely see TY got the better of that trade. You know, TY is not going to let the aggression stop here. Luckily for Stats, he does have a lot of DTs here. The Shadow Strike going to help him take out what he can. He needs to focus fire those down, does TY. Trying to keep these fights within Liberation Zone. We do have a small bit of harassment going on the other side of the map. 2 workers going down. But that is cleaned up quite efficiently there. TY, take a look at the income tab. Is skyrocketing ahead in terms of that income and is just keeping up the aggression, rotating around with these medevacs, getting more and more tech structures. So Stats is going to have to remake way more than he really can afford to right now. And look at this, just a steady stream of blue moving across the map. Even though this gets taken down, there is just so much more for TY right now. He does, as I say that, the army supply is a little bit better, but it's all in these disruptors. Splits are getting pretty good here from TY. Takes a big shot there. Unfortunately, starting to get taken down there, and actually TY, unfortunately, just took way too many shots there. And Stats taking game number 3. What a nail biter. You know what? A game like that deserves a shout out for our sponsor, Fireball Whiskey. Whether you're just looking for a good time, having a great party, or just want to sit back and get a good mixer, the Fireball Whiskey gives you everything you need in a easy to do package. So you can check them out. They can actually get delivered to your door here in the United States if you check out our Drizzly link. And also, just make sure it deserves a shout out to our sponsor. And yeah, check them out because we're going to be doing Fireball Fridays for quite a bit. And ladies and gentlemen, let me just tell you, Fireball Whiskey, it tastes like heaven. Burns like hell. Cheers, guys. Yeah. You can tell I don't drink that often. We're good. Nah, we're good. Just wait a moment. So it got that really good aftertaste too, which I really like. But yeah, if you guys are enjoying the content today, make sure you come on out tomorrow to check out the King of Battles. A lot of amazing players are going to be battling it out tomorrow in the quarterfinals and semifinals. That's going to be at Saturday and Sunday at 10 p.m. KST, 3 p.m. CEST, so roughly the same time. roughly the same time as we started today, 9 a.m. EDT. And that is going to be a bunch of epic games as well. I want to know, who are you guys supporting tomorrow? Who do you guys want to see? You are right, Super Unification. That is pretty much the global finals roster. That you know what, man? I agree with you. I want to see Snoot as well. His games were always so fun. He was kind of the first guy to be able to use Swarm Host effectively when they got their first couple of nerfs. But we are just hanging out for a second there. Lightshade is going to be our next map. And, you know, this is going to be a more standard map, so I think TY needs to start mixing it up a little bit. I think I should have another shot. I want to, but I'm going to space them out so I can actually go to work in a few hours. Yeah, Snoopy, you are right. Relatively sober. Honestly, I do like to taste the fireball. Like once you get past that initial the initial shot, it's just I'm not really much of a shot doer. Like I prefer mixing drinks. I got some mixing shots there, but Fireball actually does do some really good mixes as well. You know, if you add it to your favorite cider, it actually really tastes pretty good. I am digging a hole. Whiskey sour. I'm gonna have to get the ingredients for that. Yeah, if you guys have a recommendation for what we can do with a Fireball, let us know. I'm sure Fireball wants to hear your suggestions because they are always looking for ways to improve their content. And just a lot of amazing stuff going on today, guys. And you know what? Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be hopping into game number 4. Spawning in the top position. He is on a roll, and let's see if he can finish it off. He is Stats. And his opponent down here in the bottom position, he is TY. Yeah, so even though TY is a little bit ill today, he is still playing fantastically well. It's just Stats is at the top of his game. And that's kind of the big thing here is that when, like, if Stats wasn't at the top of his game, it'd be a lot more even. That's because these two are so evenly matched that it's not even funny. But we do see a little bit. A little bit of a spike right there. And yes, Madu Lamau, this is a best of 9. And are they still teammates? Like, if I recall, they were both teammates on Splice for a long time. But I didn't know TY got picked up by Africa Freaks. You know, once again, Stats is just playing it relatively safe, getting that early shield battery into his main base here before moving on to his tech choice. Interesting positioning on his Cybercore and Gateway as well. You can kind of tell he's expecting some sort of run by from TY. Which honestly would be pretty cool to see, because we did see in the first game, just that combination Widowmine, Marine Drop plus the Hellbat run by just got so much damage done early on. And now this is where things start to go crazy here, as we do have the Twilight Council gonna start up that Blink, going straight into the Robo Facility as well with a couple of extra gateways. So it's a really safe build here for Stats, because it still allows him to get a little bit of aggression in, while still having enough to defend back at home. The Adept's gonna jump out and not die, which is always good for your Friday. And yeah, you know, we've got the siege tank production about to start up as well. The Raven is on the way. Just really standard stuff here. I don't think either side really wants to show any kind of crazy build. I think they're all waiting to kind of utilize their craziness for the higher paying stuff. Because it's always funny to see. Like, we have all these amazing players who are known for their innovative builds. And when you get to a show match like this, where it's not worth as much as GSL or King of Battles, you see them play a little bit more standard with a little bit of cheddar thrown in. TY actually going to deny the third base for a little bit. That's always a nice kind of delay. Put your build order behind just a tinge. But yeah, once again, we see the Colossus production start. Stats just really powering himself up. Once he gets that third base going, that's going to be so much income and so big of an ability to kind of start getting the steamroll going. Yeah, this isn't Stats' final form. There is no such thing as a Stats final form. The second you think any of these guys have a final form is the time when they really just show you that you're wrong and that they can always get better. Really just trying to deny mining here is that Hellion just being a nuisance, and I really like that. You can never really let a Protoss player stay unharassed for a bit. You really need to do something to keep him on his toes, keep that probe count nice and low, because as you can see at this point in the game, you're usually behind about 10 to 11 workers as the Terran player, so you're relying on those mules to keep yourself even. Stats moving on in, finds a really nice position here to harass. He's got to be careful though, because there is still a lot of bio here that can take you out very, very quickly. Looks like he's going to be setting up for a bit of a double prong harassment here as Stats, which I really agree with here. You know what? I think it's not the first thing you think of when you think of harassment, but it's also the most fun thing to do, especially when you just get a Warp Prism and start juggling out a Colossus in the main base, and your opponent's not really expecting it. So they group up their workers to try and get away, and then you just get those amazing Colossus shots off. Now stats. He now has a forward position very close to his opponent's fourth base location. And the way he's expanding just makes him get closer and closer with each time. So it's really just forcing TY to play a little bit more defensively. Now, to his credit, TY does have an amazing army right now, currently 90 army supply. A War Prism, a High Templar, and an Observer walk into a bar. They order Fireball Whiskey and have a wonderful night. Feedback on the Raven, going to shut that down before this push can even start. A big attack here coming out of TY. Going to scan, reveals where the army is. And yeah, without the use of that Raven energy, you're not going to be able to shut down those Colossus. You're not going to be able to really do this effectively. So he is just going to back up here. TY just being very, very careful here. Stats prepared on the top of the ramp. We got the Disruptors coming in for the flank as well. This is just an amazing spread from Stats. It's going to be very difficult to engage into this, but there are no more Disruptor shots, so TY is going to try. Good force fields. Going to take out a bit of this army from the equation, but the Vikings still going to town unabated. We do see 14 workers going down on the other side of the map, however. Actually, no, he pulled the workers into this army. Actually, where are those going down? I don't know, but Stats starting to push this back, but TY still has quite a bit of bio here. The Archons are gone, and now it is basically just gateway units to defend this. They will be enough for right now. It's actually doubled the army supply for TY, however. Okay, he did pull the boys. I was wondering because I didn't actually see the SCVs. Beautiful Widowmine hits, actually going to shut down those Zealots, and now these Stalkers are going to have a little bit of trouble dealing with this. Stats pretty much just buying himself time. But he does lose his third base, and TY going to be able to shut down the fourth as well. A lot of probes going to go down with this. Stats, however, is not done just yet. And Disruptor getting a huge connection right there, and now TY is firmly on the retreat. Although he is not done just yet. He is not down and out. And now TY's got his fourth base up and running as well. He's going to turn that into a planetary. I'm loving the mines because now they're just going to stop that kind of flank around, which Stats was going for, and they're going to do some massive damage to the Archons. Unfortunately, there is not enough here, so TY is going to have to retreat. The mines, however, are going to stick around until the Observer can finally take them out. And it's just Stats having to continuously rebuild those bases is going to really hit into his income right now. And TY can now just kind of jump around with these medevacs and go for an attack on the fourth base as well. This is absolutely insane, and this is TY at his best. Because, yeah, now Stats can't really defend both locations at once. He's going to have to split his units perfectly to deal with this. And look at that. Beautiful mine hit's going to take out a lot of those Zealots. Mostly just Disruptors over here, so there is enough Marauders. And beautiful splits as well. TY in the main base. He's at the third. Those Disruptors finally getting a decent hit off. Going to clean up this side, but that's where the reinforcements come into play. Using the Disruptors to clean up the mines, not the best use of them right now, and that is actually going to be it. TY gets on the board. It is now officially a series, ladies and gentlemen. God, that was incredible. TY finally turning it on and showing how he is. You know what? That does deserve another shot. Let me just grab from my bag. I've got a bunch of these little ones. Just an absolute ton of these. So I'm gonna feel this in the morning. But it is the morning already. You know what, ladies? To a crazy game. Cheers. I think my mouth is going numb. So that one didn't hit as hard. But I'd like to thank you guys so much for tuning in so far. This has been an amazing series sponsored by Fireball. And you know what, guys? This campaign is actually going on for a while now. We still got 6 weeks at the very least for Fireball Fridays. So a bunch of great, amazing content. No, I work in an airport loading airplanes, actually. So this is going to be fun. But you know what, guys? We're going to hop right into Submarine. If something crazy is going to happen, it's going to be this map. There is an absolutely nasty position to... I did not call you guys ladies. I called you ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Yes, I load air cargo. Yes. Nope. Wrong button. But anyway, guys, this series is continuing in all. It's going crazy, spawning down here in the bottom position for Afrika Freaks. He is Stats. And his opponent, also for Afrika Freaks and missing an SCV in the main. He is TY. Thank you for that amazing game last time. So the Rax is coming on down. He is not heavily committing with this, only getting one, so we should be seeing maybe a couple of Reapers to go and do some damage. But Stats actually having an idea that something is up. This is really the cheesy map for all races, actually. He realizes something is up and going to see that it is going to be double refinery. So he knows that there's going to be a factory coming up very quickly behind this. And so he is actually going to feel safe to expand, it seems like. Going to get that Zealot as well. I don't know if that's the best option, because while it is going to force TY to focus fire, it's not going to be able to chase the Reaper around as effectively as you would think.
Now, behind this, TY is going to be getting that factory, like I said. Stalker on the way as well. He's going to have to chrono that out because this Reaper pretty much has full range on this base. Maybe even take out the Zealot if you're not careful. A good scout around as well. Sees pretty much everything in the main and the natural as well. So just excellent information for him to start things off. And behind this, we actually have Hellions on the way. So you know what that means, guys. We're going to be seeing a bit of TY run by action. One thing I would love to see is actually just make a medevac and pick up the Hellions, put them straight into the main base, because the thing is, the Reaper wall is actually going to make it hard for him to get out of there. So any kind of stack up is going to be twice as effective. And we do have Stargate on the way, though, so Stats might be anticipating this a little bit. We should be seeing him probably go into Phoenix play behind this to kind of shut down any kind of drop play that's going on. And there we go. The Phoenix are coming out. But the Reaper's in front. Just going to be able to be a bit of a nuisance here until that drop can commence. Yes, this is the same strategy that we saw TY Wreck parting with, and this really is the map to do it. One Phoenix is out, but it's not gonna be in position to do anything just yet. You do need two to be able to lift off here. The Hellions gonna come into the main base. The Reapers gonna start taking down the Adepts. One liftoff is complete, so the Hellions gonna get taken down pretty easily here. So the Reapers gonna have to hold down the fort. Stats actually did pretty darn well there for himself, cleaning that up with very minimal damage. Now, TY is a little bit behind in terms of that income, just because this was a very committed build. So his natural is only just now starting. Behind this, we do see Stats going to go straight up to that Robo Bay. Raven actually may get taken out here. Repair is not enough. And oh no, a Raven for a Phoenix is nowhere near good. So behind this, once again, Stats, Stats is really in the if it isn't broke, don't fix it category right now. He has gone for these Colossus pretty much every single game, and he's been able to find damage with them no matter how he's utilized them. And I'm really it's just the way he does things. It's so smooth, so methodical, you can't help but cheer for him, no matter who you're really a fan of. And the big thing is, he's really just moving around with these Phoenix. He hasn't overcommitted to them, so if he loses them, it's not a huge overstep, but there's still enough there to kind of take out SCVs, fly in, deny a base from finishing if he wanted to here. That's pretty much undefended. But it really just allows him to power up as well, especially since TY going to be going for an aggressive push here with one siege tank. So if that siege tank gets lifted up, this is gonna hurt. TY going to have to siege up on the top of the ramp, do what he can there. But But yeah, TY just recognizes that he's not going to get enough done with this, so he is just going to back up, kind of defend the third base location, it looks like, while he sets that up. Yeah, I do agree with chat right now. There is a discussion on who is the best player. I think the big thing is there are a lot of players who really just have those moments of brilliance, and they have their big streak, and then kind of fall off a little bit later on. They still do incredibly well, but they don't have that same kind of uh, juice that they normally had. Like innovation is a big example of that. You know, we've seen him struggle, but you know what? TY is going to struggle a little bit with this stim. Has to stim backwards, loses one of those C-Tanks very quickly on, and the Zealots right on top of the bio here. The C-Tanks do go down. Big warping going to come down, but the Warprism will get taken down. But still, Stats looking to overwhelm this location here, and he does do so. Will have to back up here. Yeah, I mean, getting back to that point, you look at Byun, who for all of 2016 was just amazingly overpowered. He literally invented the meta for that entire year with his Reaper builds and the 2-1-1. And you know, now he's still doing incredibly well after his service, but he just doesn't have the same power as he used to. That's kind of an extreme example, but I think you get where I'm going from with that. As we get back to here, Stats still powering his way through the Archons, taking down all of the Vikings, so those Colossus will reign free in the back. And you are right. I mean, you're completely right about that. Like, he was so good they had to nerf him. And that just tells you everything you need to know about him. Now the first set of Ghosts is on the way here. I think TY really needs to hold out for those before he engages, because those EMPs are going to be so important. But Stats is not going to let him have the time of day here. He's just going to move in once again with that Warp Prism. Colossus in the back just raining fire on that factory. I don't think you need to be attacking that, Stats. And there we go, big disruptor hits. Once again, I think Stats is starting to worm his way through here as the SCVs all fall. The army of TY is just crippled. And Stats taking a great lead here. He goes up to match point in this best of 9. Wow. Just went ahead and stayed ahead. That is essentially how that happened. Let's see what's going on here. Gonna be hopping in to game number game number 6 now, Gigantha. You know, this is a fun map. I mean, the last couple of seasons have been pretty cool for the map pool. We've just been seeing a bunch more interesting maps than we used to see. A lot of unstandard features coming out. And Gigantha is no exception to that, you know? You've got those big accelerator zones. If you want those later expansions, you have to kill off rocks. You can't... it's kind of spread out a little bit between the bases. And yeah, I think it is Gigantha or Gigantha. I just call it Gigantica or something. But I did it again. Like you guys don't see in the background, but I keep hitting the wrong button and giving TY 4-1. But let's get back to talking about these players. He's on match point. He's looking to go home. It is late in Korea, spawning in the bottom position. He is Stats. And his opponent in the top. Like, he may be looking for a lie down after this series, but he is not going to lie down in this series. He is TY. Now, TY already being very aggressive. He does not want to lose that SCV. Stats just being the nuisance that we all know and love from Protoss players. I think TY is pretty happy though, because he does know where that probe is. The scariest thing in SE2 is not knowing where a probe is. It was even scarier as well when like you couldn't see the number of workers on the base, so you had to you had to count it. I don't think there is much air cargo to load. Oh no, there is so much air cargo to load. Yeah, already Stats just kind of feels ahead. He kind of feels cheeky in this game with that probe, just really trying to slow down TY in any way he can. And yes, that's a good thing about a CC, is that that's the one big good thing about this. Since they can fly, you can really just ignore the probe there and just throw it down wherever you want. It's not really going to slow you down too much. And so it's just a good way to kind of make sure that things are even out. Now, once again, we got Stargate play. I don't think he's going to go into Oracle behind this. He's really been kind of methodical with those Phoenix styles. The Adept, however, is really just nice. That he wanted it. You all saw that he wanted to deny that landing. And I kind of agree with chat a little bit. I don't think it's necessarily Protoss favored, but I do think if you're going for a like a mech style or a slower bio style, it's going to be difficult really to get any kind of aggression going. You really have to rely on fast medevacs to get across the map. And I think Protoss, just with the fact that they can warp in pretty much anywhere, has a little bit better chance for getting the aggression done. Now, we do see this Phoenix kind of flying around. He spots everything that's coming out. He sees the Phoenix, or the Banshee rather, is on the way. So now he's going to be able to just throw down a shield battery in his main base. And natural if he wants to. And kind of just prevent damage from being done there. Just kind of getting a really good scout around. And I'm really liking this. He sees pretty much everything. Even though there's not that much to see, to be completely honest here. TY, he's got a Cyclone and a Raven on the way. And honestly, I really worry for that Raven. Like, you have to keep it with the Marines or it's going to get picked off very quickly. Okay, so he did cancel the Banshee and Cloak. He kind of felt like he couldn't get it. And oh my goodness, that was a pickup of the century. Now, once again, like it's kind of like a broken record at this point, saying he's going into Colossus. Ty, he's still doing really well, but yeah, you can kind of see fatigue in his play a bit. Getting a couple nice pickoffs. That's essentially what these Phoenix are doing. And yeah, we're still seeing roughly the same stuff here. Viking's going to be coming out to deal with the Colossus. By the time he gets enough Vikings out, the Disruptor plays are going to come in. You know, we haven't really seen Liberators come out 14Y in a bit. And, you know, he tried to utilize them in one game, but unfortunately they just got picked off way too easily. He wasn't able to utilize them effectively in the engagements. But now we got the Templar Archives coming on down. Scan gonna reveal that charge is being researched. He sees the War Prism coming out as well, I believe. And this is really where stats can start to kind of snowball. If he can get into the main base, just look at the path the Terran units have to take to get in there and defend. So multi-prong harassment is really going to be the style of choice here. I hope for stats because that's going to be his best way to get in there. TY gearing up for the push. He's going to have to move across the map soon here if he wants to kind of press anything. And actually, the way he's positioning, I really wish he would kind of utilize drops a little bit more here because that's the thing. We talk about this map being very big. I think if he was able to kind of pull stats towards these locations over here on the minimap and then move in with his medevacs, he would be able to force a recall and buy himself a lot of time in that regard. TY, but TY is going to be the first one to push. He goes right into an acceleration zone, however. You have to be careful with these positions. But he does, but he is able to pull, to push back here. Nice disruptor hits already. The SCVs have been pulled to try and help out. But not really able to get the splits that he needs. He's taking a lot of damage to the disruptors. Now, that is the last disruptor ship, but it's still whoops. And I think with the decimation of this army, it's going to be very impossible for TY to come back into it. And you know what? That is stats taking game number 6. What an amazing series, ladies and gentlemen. They're talking a little bit in chat here. Let me just make sure I'm not missing something. But what an amazing series. Congratulations to Stats. Really just showing his dominance in this series. TY, he did not play badly, you know, at all. And that's the kind of the thing. But, you know, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I've been Passer. Thank you. If you want to find me, you can find me at twitter.com/Passer2300. That's 2300. And if you want to follow some more amazing StarCraft, just check it right out here at AlphaX SC2. Even tomorrow, we got some amazing King of Battles matches going on. The quarterfinals and semifinals going to be happening with all of the amazing players you see on screen. So check that out tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday at 10 p.m. KST, 3 p.m. CEST. And you know what? One more time, I'd like to give a cheers out to you guys, the fans, to our sponsor, Fireball, and we will see you guys at the next big event. Cheers, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll see you again.